Alrighty, we are going to go through how to commission a new JACE that has been installed at a property. First thing we're going to have to do is connect to the JACE. Standard JCI JACEs are going to come with a 192.168.1.149 for port 1. So we're going to go ahead and just connect to the platform here. And the username and password is going to be JCI and then Explorer. And that'll get you in at first. You will have to be connected to the internet if you do not already have the license installed onto this. You're going to have to go through the configuration of the platform and create a new password, user, passphrase, and it's going to walk you through most of the things. I use a standardized passphrase for all my JACEs and username and password. That is up to everybody else on what they want to use, but I say you pick one that you always will remember, because if you forget it, it's going to not be very fun to figure out what it is. So I'm going to go through this. All right. Go into the platform. We're going to come down here to the commission agent. We can see the Damon's version's at 4.10, so we're actually going to be upgrading that and everything as we go along in here. It's a long process, but it is a very helpful process, especially when you're new to it and not quite sure how you need to get started on this. It's not, there are step by step guides that Johnson has how to condition them. Um, it's just learning it and doing it more and more. So, since I'm actually connected to the internet, I can pull it off the server license server. If you were not, you'd have to actually import the files manually. It's a lot harder. I just prefer to be connected to your hotspot on your phone or something. It's not getting up any data or anything. It's just makes everything a lot easier. Um, and what I do is I have a JACE commissioning station built onto my computer, and what I do every time is I'm going to just rename it um, when I come out to each one. That way, it's just easy for me. I just have one station, and I just change the name as I need to. Um, okay, just kidding. We're gonna end this. Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're actually watching this video. Today's video, we're going to go over on how to commission a brand new JACE that has just been recently installed. Um, so the first thing we're going to have to do is connect to the platform. So we're going to go to, I already have it up. It's a 192.168.1.149, which is the standard IP address for port 1 on an FX80 and an FX90. If you did not already have it in your nav tree down here, you would have to go up and then to open and then down to open platform. And then this will give you the option to type in the IP address. But I already have it here. So we're going to go ahead and connect to the platform. Standard JCI out of the box is going to be JCI and then Explore, all lowercase. I have changed this password already, so I'm going to input my password. Going to get in here. We're going to go first. We're going to go to Platform Administrator. Coming down here to this commission button. Going to run this. It takes a little bit of time. If you work with FX or CCT or anything, you do know you have to learn some patience when loading devices and softwares, because it takes It takes time. It's not a fast, quick softwares, but gets the job done, and we do get through everything. You may hear a loud pump going here in a little bit. That is because I am in a mechanical room right now working on this JACE. So if you do hear it, I'm sorry about that. It may be loud if you're wearing earphones, but all right, we're gonna just go through most of this stuff. I do usually have a stock JACE that I just use every time I am commissioning a JACE. I have it set up for what we normally install and do, so I don't have to always make a new one every time because again, it gets time consuming if you're doing that. But if you do know you're building a new site and you go ahead and build that site offline, you can just transfer over that station you built on your local host to it. It does speed up the process. Just kind of depends on what you've done with your time and labor involved with the project, slash if you have time to do it. I know where most of the time we're really busy, so it's kind of hard to get a couple hours to sit down and build a station fully. Most of the time, you want to go ahead and get everything pulled in and then start building. It's kind of all personal preference at that point. I do like to build them offline and then just transfer them over. Um, but sometimes it's also nice to have the points already. When you get to this screen, you're going to see all the versions that are installed right now on this JACE. The available versions are right here, depending on what you're running and what this JACE is actually licensed for. So what you're going to do is just come down here, hit upgrade all out of date. Nothing's going to happen other than it's going to gray out everything. You're not going to see everything upgrade instantly. So don't get alarmed if you don't see all this update or anything. It's going to now update every single module that is on this JACE to the latest version that you are licensed for. Once you hit next, that always stumped me at first. When I was first doing everything, it always irritated me that it didn't just update in that one screen, but it's kind of have to do its own thing. Here you can actually change your network inputs. If you want to go ahead and open up this other port so you know, like, you connect in this JACE to the server at this property, you can go ahead and, if you already know the IP address, you can go ahead and enable this and put all the IP address information in there. Or you can do it on port 1 and then change your port 2 to default. I like to keep a default all the time so I know the IP address, and if there's a server hooked up, I'm not having to go out there every time and disconnect their server and then connect my Ethernet in there. I think it's just kind of a waste of time, so you might as well just go ahead and open up the other port, have two ports. That way, something ever happens, you can get into the system. I've never seen a port fail, but it's the first time for everything. Here, you're going to start a new user. I'm going to use my default. Well, I already have the default in there, so I'm actually going to install my other one. This is a good idea to have another user password in here, just so if some odd reason you cannot get into the JACE using. Forgot about that. All right, now it's good. All right, now it's happy. That's my stock one. I've already made it. I actually logged into the station earlier, messed up, so I had to restart everything. But adding another username in here is always handy. If you already know the maintenance people and what they want their username and password to be, you can go ahead and set that up. If they have a manager on site, you can set that one up. That can also be always set up later on. This is also just for the platform. If you just want them to have access to the station, that's at a later date, at a later process, and you can add that in later. This is just for the platform. Up to you if you want to give them rights to it. Most people probably won't. It's kind of just up to you and what they want as well, because I mean, it is their station, so it's going to be their property at some point in time. So whether or not you want to give them full access or not full access, up to you. Here it's going to go through and update everything, and then after it gets done, it's going to go through a reboot on the JACE. That reboot does take a good bit of time. So if you're sitting there waiting to try to connect back to it, don't get alarmed if you have to wait for 5-10 minutes sometimes to reconnect to it, because it will take a while to update all those modules and everything in that JACE and update it to the latest firmware as well. It's a patient game. If you've been in controls, like I said earlier, it is a waiting game half the time on stuff. Um, but it's worth the wait, because I mean, once you get the station all loaded up and you get all the graphics and everything pulled into it, and you get to get handed over to the end user, they are usually very happy with it if you've done a good job and done exactly how they want to see it. It is just splendid to have on a building. My personal preference, for sure now. But we are going to just wait and wait and wait. I'm going to start making more and more videos. If there is anything that anybody wants to see, if they've had problems with in the past, if there's videos out there that you want out to just be able to reference back to, or anything that you just kind of get stumped sometimes, if you're not doing it every day, this stuff does kind of get confusing. There are people out there who do it every day, and there's people out there who maybe do it every couple months. And I know if you're trying to remember what you did 6 months ago, it's going to be kind of hard to remember all the steps properly. So if there's anything out there that y'all want videos about, that are just like kind of recurrent things that happen every couple months that you can't quite remember. I know I've done a couple videos now about changing your IP address for your computer, so you're actually able to connect to any kind of device that has a different IP address. I know there's CCT problems that people run into quite frequently that I can make videos about. I can also do Prolon controls, which is another brand that I work with a good amount. I know they have some finicky stuff every once in a while. Um, yeah, if there's anything that anybody would ever want to see or have a video that's public that they can reference back to, you can always comment it down in the comment section, and I will look through it and see if there's anything that people want. Um, but yeah, the commission to JACE isn't super hard. It's more of just time consuming. So now the device is rebooting. So this is the point where I said all your lights and your beat lights are gonna kind of flicker and then go off. Your beat light's gonna go away. You're gonna have to wait 5-10 minutes, like I said, before you're able to actually reconnect to that JACE. Once everything kind of is back up and running, you can go back into the platform. You're gonna go to your application and you're going to start that station. And then once you start the station, that's when you can log into the station with your default credentials that you've made originally. And then you can start accessing the JACE and start building all your graphics and pulling all your points in. Well, that is it for this video today. Like I said, if there's anything that y'all want to see or you need, a little bit of more information about, comment down in the comment section, and I will get back with anybody in there, and I will start posting more videos about just little things I see here and there. But other than that, I hope you all have a good rest of y'all's day, evening, or afternoon. And I am signing off now. Thank you.